Welcome everybody to our Sharing the Oily Love, kind of I would say a mini class, your crash course, where I'm going to be leading it along with Diamond Rachel Rhodes, and we are just going to go through and be pretty quick and make sure that you at least have a vision for what you're doing, kind of a down and dirty guide that you can use to propel yourself forward and live a life by design, not by default, and make Young Living a huge part of it. So I'm going to start by kicking it to Rachel first.
Hey guys, welcome. Pardon my little visitor here. She's last minute. Okay, so that just shows how awesome this business is. I'm here at 8 o'clock sitting with my toddler, able to do this. So we're just going to cover 4 quick bullet points to surface, quick things to really breeze through kind of our business model. And the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the income disclosure statement. So Ashley is going to show you, she's going to give you a virtual tour on our virtual office, which is part of our Young Living website. There's so many actually insanely amazing, helpful resources on that site through quick links. And the income disclosure statement is one of those. That's going to be one of the first things that you want to look at. It's going to show you the average income per rank, which is really helpful when you're trying to decide for yourself what you're wanting for yourself and for your family. And so that's one of the first questions I like to ask people is, what do you expect from this business? Are you wanting to get your oils paid for? Are you trying to pay for ballet lessons for your daughter? Or are you wanting to come home from work? Are you wanting a pretty substantial income? Because that helps us, and that will help you ultimately moving forward, matching, basically laying out a plan. Ashley is going to, at this time, she'll tail end that, but she'll also lead us into kind of the virtual office tour, which I think is going to be really helpful for you guys as far as those quick links that I mentioned. Ashley, do you want to launch into that?
Yep. So what is possible is really what Rachel was speaking to. And I want you to have a vision and really paint that for yourself based off not just that income disclosure, but why are you doing this? Write it down, as she said, write it down, the little, the small, but you have to begin the end with the end in mind and look towards the future, and every day be working a little bit at a time and have that intrinsic motivation, because none of us can tell you why you're doing this. You have to know why you're doing it for yourself, especially if you are someone who is stretched for time or strapped financially. Both of those things create stress. And we want this to be a source of confidence building, a source of personal growth and development, and a long-term source of freedom. So I'm going to go ahead and share. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to share my desktop with y'all, and it'll be awesome if I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, y'all see that? So vacation rental, is this great? Is this what you're seeing? Virtual office. Super awkward. Y'all are seeing like my real virtual office because I don't know how to do the assistant login. But what I'm going to show you is over here, you're going to go to member news. And you see I redeemed all my ER points this month. Isn't that awesome? So if I'm like scrolling around, okay, well, member news, what is that? This legit is news. So this is not where, as a new member, someone that's new to building, you actually want to go. You want to go to member resources and you want to click on that. So underneath here, guys, this is amazing. This quick link section, this was non-existent when we started with Young Living, like non-existent. So right here, the things that are really important for me to tell you about, especially when you're first starting, you can click on, just simply speaking, the Young Living Difference infographic. This is amazing. It's a PDF, it's downloadable, and you can send it via email, text, whatever you want to. You can post it on Facebook. You can read it yourself. But things like this, and it's taking forever to load, but they understand the point is, you could read our innovative seed to seal commitment. You could literally use this. And it goes through the pillars. It goes to seed to seal. It tells you the numbers, corporate farms, partner farms, international markets. Like this, guys, is crucial. It is amazing to look at things like this that are not only for you, but they're shareable. So we go back to the index. We have a tab on international. We have the membership agreement and essential rewards enrollment. So these are all the resources that you can use outside of Facebook. Diffuser comparison chart, that's amazing. Out of stock list, you don't have to wait for your upline to post it. Virtual product catalog, that's going to be literally an issue link to the product catalog that you can have, again, outside of that paper catalog. The frequently asked questions, if you click on that, there's tons and tons and tons of frequently asked questions. And then here is one of my favorite things that's on here. There's a Discover Your Lifestyle booklet that no one knows about. It's very little used. And you can click on this and it will tell you about opportunities outside of just buying the PSK. So it has the PSK plus some lifestyle stuff. Again, taking forever to load on here. I'm not going to wait for it. I might click back onto it. But what I love about this is there's also a direct deposit form. There's also some tax information. There's about events. There's a safety guide, y'all. Like all the stuff people ask us for. And I always say, why are you navigating virtual office? It's because I was not educated. So now I am, and you can be. Over here, where it has Dream 1000, it'll have our newer contest now. That was our last one. Policies and procedures. People want to know the rules. They want to know the rules of the game. They want to understand how to play the game that they're in. So for you, if you've never gone through and looked at this is literally, look at this, guys. It's flyers on communicating with your downline, promoting your WOW business, rank recognition, requirements to become a professional account. All of this, infographics, business center, Elite Express, training on the virtual office. You could spend days and days navigating virtual office and you will be better for it because it's awesome. Link builder. This is the number 1 place that most of us forget is here, and we think we need something fancy. So right here, create custom link. Guys, all I have to do, watch this. There's a little button. It says copy your link. Then I can copy it and put it over and send it to my friends. So really simply speaking, if you are not on Facebook, there is so many resources for you. If you are on Facebook, this website is a great resource when your work and employer blocks Facebook. Just kidding, that's not the purpose. But in general, you can go on here and it's gonna be probably a lot more neatly organized than a lot of our other places where we get resources. So I know that isn't glamorous and fun to share, but I really want you to know that Young Living is doing everything they can to make our jobs as easy as possible. So knowing the possibility, knowing where to get the resources, knowing how to actually use things that are tools that we normally use, like our virtual office, and sharing a link, and how to place orders. Quick order, essential rewards. Let's make sure as we navigate this together moving forward, every single member knows how to do quick order and how to do essential rewards and what I'll Go and Go Plus are. This is not the call where we explain all those things. This is where we let you know these are the simple parts of what you need to know to grow. So now we're going to move into how in the world to share. So you're equipped. You have a link. You know about the farms. You maybe know how to do your ER. You got 300 PV up in there. You're getting the promos. You got direct deposit set up. You're like, I am ready to go. I'm fired up. I'm ready to share. What do? What's next? So Rachel, what should I do next?
So this is the part that I really love because there's really so many different ways that you can share. And I honestly like to ask people, I like to observe and see what they might be more comfortable doing. So for me and for Ashley, we had classes, and Ashley taught a class for me, and then we co-taught one together, and then I do the same thing for people on my team. I will teach a class for them, and we'll co-teach together, and so that there's kind of a blueprint there so that can be duplicated down. There's a script, so it's duplicatable, it's easy. Again, you can just use like bullet points and read off of those. You can also do one-on-one, so that is one of your girlfriends sees a post you did about lavender helping your kids sleep because you're posting every 5th post about how to use your oils. Not necessarily your, hey, I'm a Young Living member, here's my link, sign up, but you're maybe posting about this epic diffuser blend that you diffuse next to your kid's bed and he's sleeping throughout the night. If your friend contacts you, we always suggest either one, having an event to invite them to, or meeting them one-on-one. So that might be a coffee shop. That might be, if it's a mom with several kids, it might be going to her house. There's so many times I've done that, and I've even brought my kids, and there's been play dates going on while I'm talking to the mom. There are so many other ways. There's people right now doing like fun workshops with the fall coming up. There's like pumpkin spice workshops where we are making fun things, but still talking about the kit at the same time. And you always want to keep in mind that since the premium starter kit is the way to get a membership, typically that is what we teach to. So every time we are educating, we're always keeping that in mind, that it is about teaching to the premium starter kit, because that's where people start. So many different ways. Again, posting online, if you're on Instagram or you're doing Insta stories or Facebook, again, you don't want your feed to be a billboard. So every time your friend scrolls past your name, it's like an ad. You want it to still be you and just show that you are folding this in. This is now a part of your life. You want people to be curious about what you're doing, and they will approach you and have events or plug them into events if you're somewhere where you have an upline that has events, so that you have something to invite them to when they start asking you questions. Ashley, did you have anything that you wanted to tail off of that?
Absolutely. So we all share in different ways, but what I want you to think about is the way that you were introduced tends to be the way that you introduce others. So what happened for me is I was introduced online, but I didn't have an online forum to introduce other people. So I, shared on Facebook some. I've signed up a lot of people online now, but it's been because of what I've been doing in my home, in person, with personal usage. So for me, it's really important that I say it really plainly, I guess, that you need to always, and Rachel just said it, but I'm gonna say it again, you need to always have something you're inviting people to. So I don't have a blog post or a podcast about essential oils or a new video every week. So I can't invite them to view those things. But what I can invite them to is to take a look at the kit and come over for pizza in their pajamas on Friday night and play with some fall recipes. I can invite them to that. I can invite them to a back to school brunch. I can invite them to an online Zoom that's a 101 class. I can do those things, and so can you. If your style is more that you're posting and you're really working on maybe the international market on Instagram, you still have to invite them to some sort of learning opportunity. So maybe it's a class on WhatsApp, maybe it's a Zoom link, but whatever it is, you never want to be the person that doesn't have a way to plug someone in. So the simple ways, I'm going to go through them just really simply. Meeting one-on-one, coffee dates in their house, as she mentioned. Maybe it's even for you, those one-on-ones could be phone calls, whatever it is. Events, an actual event that happens at a specific point in time. A purposeful laid out, this is from 7 to 9 p.m. or this is online from 8 to 8:30, okay? The next thing is vendor events, okay? Vendor events and cold market events, I'm gonna loop together. This means you're setting up a table with diffusers at your kid's school for a PTA fundraiser where they have a bunch of people selling stuff. Or you're setting up diffusers at a fall festival or a brewery and you're hoping to attract cold market and strike up conversation. Those are another category. The next category is you are doing product placement in your house, you're doing lots of hashtag work, you're really working specifically focused at online marketing to cold market contacts, okay? So when you're doing that, these are all funneling mechanisms for you to sell the PSK. So very clearly, I will say this, I sell oils, and so do you. I sell people kits, so do you. I help people make money from selling things to people. And the reason I'm saying that is I never say it's my job, but this is that is how we make income. And it's okay to understand that. And it's okay to still use other language. Like I educate people, I share oils. That's great. But for you to understand really how it boils down, the way that we do get paid in this business is getting people to fall in love with the product, invest in themselves through the PSK, where you will earn for all of our premium starter kits, go back to the IDS, you earn $50 every time you help someone share. And then long term, it's getting them on essential rewards and getting them sharing also. So the 3 behaviors that help us grow: getting new members, getting current members on essential rewards. And the best way to do that, I wish we had Becca on this call about getting people on ER when they sign up. I will tell you guys, that is amazing. If you do that well, keep doing it. If you signed up on ER when you enrolled, never stop doing that when you sign up people, because it's an amazing tool and resource where they earn points back right away. And then the third thing is that you're raising up new people. Either you want to hear yourself, like I'm doing this business, or you're just curious about sharing. That's all you want. People who are curious about sharing or people who are all in for doing the business. Does not matter the level in which they're committed right now. It's just saying yes. It is saying yes and investing and believing in yourself. So those 3 behaviors are what lead us to massive, tremendous growth long term. It does not take you personally enrolling 10,000 people to be a Royal Crown Diamond. It takes you raising up people that are every single week going to take action and believe in themselves in that way. So more on how to share with that. I just want to make sure we're thorough enough, Rachel, that people get an actual idea. So maybe I don't want to share and do basics of essential oils. How could I frame that so that I create curiosity and invite people to come and take a look?
Oh, you're asking me. So there's so many different things that you can do to be creative and still sneak, and I don't even want to say sneak, but literally use all the essential oils. I know Ashley and I have done a mama and baby class, And so there were pregnant moms there were moms that just had babies and they wanted to learn how to use essential oils with their babies. And Ashley and I talked about every oil in the starter kit and how we use it on our babies, how we used it in pregnancy. We've done, let's see, athletic or classes for athletes. We've done immunity, like back to school, how to use them to help kids. But everything that we talked about, we phrased or framed our wording around that topic. For instance, Alexandra's up here, so we can talk about this. We are going to do a fall pumpkin spice, or she's going to do a fall pumpkin spice class, and her recipes are using oils from the starter kit. So when we, great, when we talk about each item and what oils are in it, we're going to take the opportunity to explain what each oil is used for outside of using it in that soap. And so everyone is going to have an idea of how to use all these oils. And oh, by the way, they come in this kit here, if that helps any.
Yep. That's awesome. So remember, if you want to have a hands-on approach, that is great. Do that. You can do a class where you make rollers in the PSK. You can do whatever you would like. But just know that many of us have shared very simply with meeting people one-on-one and having basics class where we serve water. So there is no expectation that anything is fancy, that anything is out of your comfort zone. It's what you think is comfortable, and you move on from there. So I'm excited to tell you that I like being open-ended this way. Some of you are like, I wanted a playbook from tonight, and you took all the notes. But I will tell you, the best way to learn is by teaching someone else. The absolute best way to learn how to share, where it honors who you are and your talents and your gifts, is by helping someone else learn to share alongside you. So if your kit is in the mail and it isn't even to you yet, the best way for you to learn how to use that kit is have someone else that you enroll and walk it out where you're sharing along with them. You're like, how the heck do you open the bottle? I don't know. How do you get the roller fitment on? Let's do it together. So now we really want to go through and just give you some action items and give you action items that you can break off in small bites and actually start tonight, today, whenever you're watching this replay. What do you think, Rachel? What should they do?
I think if you just got your kit and you've maybe experienced one oil, have people, here's the deal, guys, you don't have to be an expert to share these oils. It's the process of inviting people on the journey with you. I think a lot of times people will look at Ashley or me or someone else that might have done them a little bit longer and say, but I need to read. No, you don't. If your friend can't sleep, do you think that she wants to wait for you to become an expert? No. So keep that in mind. It's not about you. It's literally about the people you're helping. The quicker that you can get these into their hands, the better. And so if you use lavender for the first time, post it on your social media if you're on social media about, hey, I just got this kit. This is how I use it, and I'm kind of digging it. Who wants to learn with me? We're having a class, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, and you don't always have to have something right away to promote, but just to build that curiosity. So that's a really great tip that you can start with.
Absolutely. All right, so tonight, the first thing that is like you go and do is write down the names of people. Okay, you ready? The names of people you know. And I literally just did say that. So like your names, I always say start with 200, and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I know a lot of people. It could be your mom's friends, people your dad used to work with, people went to college with, people went to high school with, old neighbors, old friends, somebody's friend's a friend, Facebook friend. Like, guys, start writing down the names of people you know so that you can start feeling like you have someone to share with. This prospect list is uber important because you will be encouraged to look at it and add names all the time and also say, oh my goodness, I keep saying I've enrolled everyone I know, and you haven't. So write down a list, okay? Next thing is fill your calendar. For me, filling my calendar is going to look a lot different than someone who has, 5 kids, a full-time job, maybe they're a single parent. Like, it's going to look different. So for me, my calendar, there's more white space to fill. So I have probably more events than some of you might be willing to have. That does not matter. Fill your space with one-on-ones, cold market events, basics classes that you can wrap around a theme, or you can just call them one-on-ones, whatever you want. And then also fill your calendar with times to work. I work from my phone. I work in increments of time. I can work on the toilet. I can work in the car. It does not matter. If you need headspace to think and work, start looking at your calendar and saying, okay, from 8 to 10 p.m. these 2 nights, I'm working because that's the only time I have. And instead of watching Netflix on Saturday night, like, I'm working from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I have this big chunk of time. Or it's 15 minutes. You're like, okay, during lunch, I don't need to sit and zone out while I'm eating my sandwich. I'm going to work for those 15 minutes. Car rides to and from work, to and from daycare, to and from the library, to and from the gym, work. Fill out the space, not because you need to fill everyone, but know with your head when you intend to share these oils with people. And I can promise you, when you manage your calendar, time will not own you. You will own the time and you will grow from it. So I'm so thankful to give you those kind of 2 bigger action steps. And then I would say that we want to share now just some resources and some things that if you want to dig deeper and go further, places you should go. Rachel and I, everyone on these calls will be from our teams. We each run business groups that are awesome. You can plug into them and really get refreshed in there. And that would be the place we would say to go, Sage Connections and Dream Team. The other thing I would say to you is if you are looking to grow on a specific platform, we have great things going on WhatsApp. We have great things going on Instagram. Those aren't where my main spaces are, but I can plug you into them. So Rachel, where else should I go to grow? What are some recommended resources before we end?
Well, first, I just want to ask real quick, when you say work, Ashley, for people that are just listening, maybe like they just started building, what do you mean by work? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, those 3 things. Trying to get people introduced to the PSK, helping people you've already introduced learn more so they can add to such rewards, and finding new people to do this with you and share, either just host one class one time, or maybe you have a big vision where you're like, I'm going to do this. Right now I'm a distributor and I'm going to be a diamond and I want people to do it with me. Every level is fine. Please know that you can't judge yourself for how you feel about this, and you can't judge anyone else. You're just saying, let's try it. And it could be as simple as getting some friends to host a class, or as long-term as, hey, I can see this. This is something I want to do forever, and I want to find some people to do it with me. Great question.
Perfect. That's good. Some other resources, there's a really great, if you're like someone who likes exact or visual, you like to see things on paper, you like to touch pages and think and process, and there's a great book, it's a workbook, it's called Propel, and it has so much information in a very clean and simple and visual way. So that's a really great resource if you're someone that prefers that and enjoys that. And then there's also, we have scripts, guys. We have things, if there's certain areas that you're more interested in, we have resources for you to take advantage of and move in that direction, or to wrap your classes around when you're starting with. Again, we just want you to focus on the kit. Like really, that's how you get people started. So you don't want to go too far left or too far right with, let's do this and this. That's just the best place to start. And I will say that I'm pretty sure Ashley and myself, all the way to silver, we focus on intro classes, whether it was creatively doing it and we tied in all the premium starter kit oils, we were just intro classes, and then we kind of built on that afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last resource I recommend is I highly recommend that each of you get a pocket reference guide. You can get them from Life Science Publishing. That is your usage oily Bible. I gift every single person I've ever enrolled for 5.5 years with one. Please do not look at your enroller right now or send them a nasty gram and say, why didn't you give me one? Buy one yourself. Invest in yourself. The second book that I would say, buy one yourself, invest in yourself, is For Your Career or For Your Career for Women. Short read, takes like an hour and a half, or it could take 8 years depending on your level of investment. Really, I'm being serious. So for me, I read that book in 2 days. Like, I loved it. I was so excited about it. And I recommend, if you prefer a feminine style of writing with a workbook style, For Your Career for Women is awesome. If you prefer, you're kind of business minded, maybe you're already inclined to reading leadership books, personal development books, For Your Career is great. Both of them, great resources. You need to understand what this looks like. Again, casual sharing all the way up to this is my jam forever. It is so important that you kind of understand, like, what the heck is network marketing? How does it even work? And like, do I understand enough that once I get a check in the mail and, my husband asks why, like, can I at least say that it's not money from the sky? Here's what happens. So highly recommend those 2 hard copy books. But I'm excited. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this information and how you're going to take it and not become the expert, but become someone who walks this out in a way where you're creating community, sharing with others, and truly helping people be the best versions of themselves, because you're saying yes to something that's in your heart right now and seeing where it's going to go long term. All right. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. This is so good.